They're here.
So yeah, at first, I just didn't know what to do.
At first, Daddy was confused.
I didn't know it was going to affect people in Nassau and Freeport.
And then I told him it was just the first 3 numbers.
Our new phone numbers have arrived, but there is no need to be afraid. Only the first 3 numbers have changed. The new numbers are in effect now.
Good evening, Bahamas. You're tuned in to NV12 broadcasting from Cable 12 Studios on Robinson Road. Coming up tonight in news, the Prime Minister booed by hundreds of protesters. This as government's proposed gaming bill is criticized by both PLP and F&M members. The Defense Force receives pricey equipment, plus the latest on the push for national health insurance. We've got those stories and so much more. I'm Vonique Toot, and NV12 starts right now. Topping news tonight, hundreds of demonstrators marched to Rawson Square today, demanding equal opportunities for all Bahamians and pledging to meet on the square every 30 days until government changes the status quo. The group, led by popular radio talk show host Daryl Miller, descended on Rawson Square this morning after marching from Southern Recreation Grounds on Market Street. The crowd even booed Prime Minister Perry Christie as he entered Parliament. Jasmine Bonnery reports.
Scores of Bahamians who've cast their support behind the Citizens for Equal Opportunity organization demonstrated downtown this morning, where they list a number of concerns.
No, I don't want to incite trouble. Don't go knocking on the doors where the MPs have the loaded guns. Come here to the seat of power. Right. And let us communicate to them that we are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Miller set the tone for the demonstration that began around 8:30 a.m. and ended after 1 this afternoon. The Guardian Talk radio talk show host said the government must begin to bring reality to the commonly uttered phrase Bahamians first. He added that both the Progressive Liberal Party-led government and the former Free National Movement-led government are guilty of letting the Bahamian people down. Miller said in order for change, the people must rise up.
A time must come when we open that window and throw out the bills that oppress us, the laws that keep us separate and unequal. That time has passed. 40 years. I want them to know that we ain't just come here to go back home. No. If it is necessary, every 30 days we will come back here. We are going to measure what they do on our behalf every 30 days.
Some Bahamians are in an uproar over the new draft gaming bill that would make it legal for pretty much everyone except Bahamians to gamble in the Bahamas. But organizers said today that it's much bigger than one single issue, as they highlighted issues like disability, the economy, and the plight of Bahamian workers. Residents who support the CEO say they are simply fed up.
Why are we still fighting for the same thing right now? And like we talk about job creation and the possibility for income and gainful employment for Bahamian people to participate and exercise their God-given right in this country. And until we stand up as we are now, we're going to lose our country.
For me, it's more about governments being accountable to the people. Last year we saw an election. You ran a campaign, said you're going to do many things. Where are those things? When I go through the chart of governance, a lot of those things are not done. So that's why I'm here today. I'm here to stand with all our fellow Bahamians right now and say, listen, just do what you said you were going to do.
I'm hoping that all of our voices, no matter how small the crowd is, we are all Bahamians and we're standing together. We want equal rights in our country for all Bahamians. If you're qualified and a job is available, the job should go to Bahamian first. And social workers who put their lives at risk, we do not have risk allowance, we do not have health insurance.
Several politicians threw their support behind the demonstration, with leader of the F&M Dr. Hubert Minnis and F&M Deputy Leader Loretta Butler Turner, as well as former F&M candidate Dr. Dwayne Sands, stopping briefly to speak with the crowd. Democratic National Alliance leader Branville McCartney expressed his disappointment in the current administration, echoing others' claims that the PLP failed to keep many of its campaign promises.
I really wish the Bahamian people would be in a position, or can be in a position, to sue the government for breach of contract. Because what they did under their charter of governance was just pure written garbage, because they have not lived up to many things they said they were going to do. Mortgage relief program, not one person benefited from it. Urban renewal 2.0, nothing has happened, and I don't care what Commissioner or anybody else say about crime being decreased. It is not decreased. They may be talking about a certain area of crime, but overall, crime is still our #1 issue in this country.
Police say during the peak of today's demonstration, more than 200 demonstrators gathered in Rawson Square. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Bonamy.
Opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis has until now been silent on the gaming bill controversy. But today, he questioned why government would propose legislation that would seemingly discriminate against Bahamians, whom they profess to believe in. Paige McCartney reports.
Minnis believes the PLP has some kind of ulterior motive with this gaming bill and is questioning what they're up to. In fact, the F&M leader says he's not sure the PLP isn't floating the draft gaming bill to spark a public debate. He said the government is desperate to make up for the results of the gaming referendum earlier this year, in which Bahamians voted no to web shop gambling and a national lottery, and wants to use this bill to get what it wants.
That's a possibility. But I need to keep an open mind with the PLP. They are tricksters. I need to keep an open mind so I can make determination as to what exactly is their motive. It's not straightforward. They are not a straight shooting party.
However, Minnis said he would save any further comments on the proposed bill until he has seen a final draft. The proposed bill would allow people outside the Bahamas to gamble on a website established, maintained, and operated by the holder of a gaming license if they reside in a country that permits it. However, the leaked draft of the bill prohibits only Bahamians from gambling.
First of all, I read, report, and follow Minister Wilschcombe. And in the Guardian report, Minister Wilschcombe said there are several versions of this bill. Nothing was sent to us. Nothing was sent to the opposition. So one has to wonder, what version is this that's circulating? And what is the PLP up to? They've made a series of blunders throughout their 1 year of governance. And therefore, you must understand that there can be some ulterior motive with this particular bill, and presumably more circulating.
It's unclear when the bill will be tabled in Parliament. Minnis says when it is, he hopes that the Bahamian public isn't singled out from foreigners in their right to gamble in the country.
I would hope that the bill would reflect what they preached during the election process. They said they believed in Bahamians, and therefore the bill would reflect truly that they believe in Bahamians. As I can say that the opposition, we certainly believe in Bahamians and will not marginalize the Bahamians at any cost.
Senior PLP members have called on the government to rethink provisions in the gaming bill that allow permanent residents and work permit holders to gamble in casinos. When asked if he believes Bahamians should be given the right to gamble in casinos, Minnis said this.
In terms of Bahamians should be in casinos, I feel yes. But that's my personal view.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Paige McCartney.
Both senior and relatively new members of the Progressive Liberal Party are also calling on government to rethink that controversial aspect of the gaming bill. PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts believes the proposed bill is discriminatory, while former PLP parliamentarian George Smith questioned the rationale behind it. Outside Parliament today, Gaming Board Chairman and PLP MP Dr. Andre Rawson told reporters the cries of angry Bahamians should not be ignored.
Bahamians should be able to do in this country anything that a non-Bahamian is lawfully permitted to do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The new generation of leaders of the Progressive Liberal Party recognize that it is for us to stand for what we believe to be right. And it would be futile for us to work as diligently as we did to be elected to represent the Bahamian people, only to come here and ignore their cries.
Rawson says he will continue to be outspoken, asserting that politicians should deliver on their promises.
Because we strongly believe that it is unacceptable for politicians to give lip service but not put meaningful action behind the words that they utter. And that is, I assure you, that is not intended to be a sign of disrespect for anyone. But at the end of the day, this sign of democracy in action is what makes us a shining example of a progressive nation. One where we're not trying to be stuck in the past, but move forward into the future. I don't think I have anything else to say.
Dr. Rollins.
Rawson says it's unlikely the draft leaked to the public would be brought to Parliament without several changes. Meantime, Tall Pines MP Leslie Miller questioned how government could even consider such a bill when web shops, which employ thousands of Bahamians, are battling it out in court to keep their doors open. He says Bahamians have every reason to be upset over the gaming bill.
The problem is that we are looking at a bill to provide more assistance for Kurdistan and Bahama and those with regard to casino gambling or online gambling. And here it is, the lives of hundreds of Bahamians, if not thousands, are now in grave danger of being lost.
He questioned where thousands of web shop employees would go if their employers are shut down.
Is the government going to give them relief for the next several years? They have legitimate jobs, I believe, where they work. Many of my constituents work there. Lady just called me this morning. Mr. Miller, you have to speak out on my behalf. I voted for you. I cannot afford to lose my job. I ain't got no husband. I'm 37 years old. I have 2 children to take care of. I got trouble to make my car payments. Forget BEC.
Coming up after the break, the National Security Minister insists crime is still down. That story and more after the break.